Hey guys, what's up? It's Schlaw coming back to ya with another episode of Car Rides with Schlaw. And today I actually woke up pretty late, not really for any reason. That was kind of weird. I don't know. Any other time I had woke up late, it would be for some type of reason. I'm noticing that my watch is being pretty off recently with the sleep tracking again, and that wasn't happening for a while. My assumption before was that it was doing that due to the fact that why am I getting like this? It was doing it due to the fact that I was taking it off at some point before bed, so maybe it had limited data or something to look at. And so it couldn't detect maybe the shift in heart rate or whatever that, was occurring around the time when we would sleep. And actually, I think I could do. I said the auto was better, but yeah, I don't know. Now I'm second guessing that assertion, seeing just the way it behaves. I'm not so sure, guys. I'm not so sure if this auto is better than the man. The man. Anyways, that's just a bunch of silly nonsense. I woke up late, which is weird. I also, and I remember this too, it shows it on the watch. I also had a lot more time awake than most people. So, now that I'm experimenting with longer sleeping, I just noticed that. It's kind of. My prior sleep was genuinely more efficient. Just was. So there could be merit to that, and I kind of feel like even though I'm getting closer to the recommended larger amount now, it just doesn't seem exactly as good. And I could look through my data and see what the best nights were like, but something's kind of wrong. And if anything, I actually thought last night would be a heavy hitter for sleep because, like I said, since I've been on the salt-heavy diet, I've been feeling so much better. I've been feeling great now that I'm finally eating a lot of salt. And as a result of that, I was able to walk super fast. Way faster than usual yesterday, and much less or none of the usual leg or knee pain. So it's great. I feel great. This salt and milk and ice cream addition, it's really something. There's something to be said. Absolutely something to be said. So that's why I'm kind of thrown off, because I was exercising actually more than usual during the day, and yet the results were worse than usual. I don't really know how I feel about that, you know what I mean? So it's just a little bit silly, honestly. Just a bit. But it is what it is, right? What else is new? I don't know. What else is new? So, I guess I've just overall been a lot more reflective recently. Like, it felt like things were in hyperspeed before, and then now they're not. Now it's like toning things down, kind of back to the same old, and just trying to process that, figure out what it all means. Been going to bed a little bit earlier, been waking up earlier, been spending more time in bed. But like I said, the silver lining is I do feel a lot better. It's just that I'm still dealing with the similar conflicts that I usually do, which is obviously the conflict of purchasing the new technology that comes out. It's really a thing that's important to me, but I wanted to put the brakes on it for at least a while, and I should put the brakes on it. I got everything that I wanted. I got the black iPhone. I have the titanium. These things are more important to me. So I should be happy because things worked out just how I wanted them to work out. But I'm still not, and again, I think most of that reasoning just has to do with the fact of the orange color. That orange color on the new 17 is just really good. And so, as a result, it's really tempting because I'm thinking in my head, well, if the 18 comes out and there's no pizzazz color like that, then I would have rather just gotten the 17 when it came out, and there's all kinds of justifications I could give for it. I just don't know. That's kind of the bottom line, is I just don't know. And then, of course, I can get in the refurbished cycle, which is honestly not even a horrible idea, where you can give it back to Apple for $700, and if the new phone is $1,200, I believe, that's not really that big of a deal. It's just like $500 a year of new phone would be the same as paying. Yeah, isn't that not even 5 times 6 is messing me up for some reason. Because that would be 5 times 6 is 30, and then it's 12, so it's 60. So it would be $60 a month. I don't even know if I'm doing that right, but no, that's not right though. So I need to like flip it. So I don't feel like doing this in my head. I'm very embarrassed that I'm doing it wrong. But it would be under that. It would be under that a month. Like, I just don't think that's that crazy to have the newest phone. So it's something I've wanted to get into for a while. Some kind of a upgrade cycle where I just send it back and get it refurbished. Or they probably recycle it or something. They get something out of it. Because it's really not that costly. And I think the benefit, especially for someone like me, is worth it. Now, not everybody. I think there's certain people where it probably wouldn't make much sense to do something like that. So that's important to keep in mind. There's a lot of people who wouldn't really notice or appreciate the performance uplift or any of that kind of stuff. And then in that case, it begs the question of whether it's worth it or not. So it really depends on the person. But for me, I genuinely think that is a worth it proposition. It just is, And then I would have this 1 terabyte model as my anchor, and then the just minimum storage base model refresh every year as my good. So it is what it is, but it's kind of a shame I can't start that cycle now. I mean, presumably I will begin it I'll begin the cycle in like whenever the 19 comes out or something like that, I think, because that's my original plan, is 2 full years from now. So I guess that's really the original plan I should adhere to, because the truth is, I've said this a million times, while I absolutely would be grateful for and wholeheartedly appreciate getting the 17 Pro Max over my current 16 Pro Max, I really would. I mean, I would get something out of it. I know it would probably make the most sense, etc., etc. But the problem is, I don't know that it makes enough sense. I'm not sure that the overall sense that it's making is because the truth is, and I think I've gone on record saying this, and it's going to show, I mean, I'm not really how hypocritical, but just how big the urges come in when something new comes out. I don't really need the new phone. Like I was explaining before, I really almost never run into any type of reception issues with the 16 Pro Max. And that's a huge deal, because any previous phone I had, like, and I'm mainly talking about the 14 Plus, it was riddled with reception issues. Like, it just wasn't a good phone. And I think most phones were like that for a while. But this one, in my day-to-day life, I guess I have to be fair and say that there aren't really ever any reception issues. Like, it's rare. I can probably count on one hand the amount of times I've had reception issues with this phone. So in terms of specs, you could make the argument that it's good enough. Now, that being said, it could still be a little bit better. And so that is notable. It just could. I mean, and I know the 17 Pro Max likely has even improved reception. So it could be better. I think that's important to note. And that's really, I think that's the number one difference. The number two difference is probably the RAM or the CPU. Then it's probably the metal. I'll switch those, because yesterday I said the number one difference was the antenna, and then the number two was the metal. Yeah, I don't know that I agree with that. I think I think that the metal is probably the fourth difference, and the CPU and the RAM is number 2. Although what I didn't realize is that now they have an 8 times optical zoom, which that is very appealing to me. So, kind of hurts that I don't have access to that. But the question comes back to, like, should I have waited? And I don't even know. I think I partially made the right choice somehow because of the lack of a black color and all that. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think in reflection over it, I've realized that I probably should be tougher. It is for my own good. And not purchasing this is... I'm stronger as a result of it. You know, I'm stronger. Now, I want to know why somebody would flash their high beams on for a really solid amount of time, because I'm apparently going too slow, but they're going off an exit, so they should definitely not be going 50 miles an hour anyway. I mean, it's just like crazy to me. But yeah, I think I've said it a million times on this show. 50 miles per hour should be just the speed limit all the time. And then, you know, I know there's certain situations where there's like 7-lane highways, or like it's just like smaller highways where there's 1 lane and it's you know, you're going for like hundreds of miles. Yeah, I mean, in those situations it's fine. But in terms of how most people should drive on, for example, their usual commute to work, it should be 50. And I think it should say 50 specifically because then people... Well, you know what, actually, what should happen is it should just be electronically limited to just stay at 50. And then you need to have some special pass to get it past that. Like a subscription, for example. A subscription. The world would be a better place. The world could be a better place. I have the solutions and the ideas, and it just doesn't materialize that way. But there's been reflection. There's definitely been a lot of reflection about this, but I don't think the urges are gone. I don't think the desire's gone, and I don't really know how that's going to pan out. And I guess maybe it might never be gone. Because that's the bottom line. The bottom line is my life could be better, and it's not. That's the bottom line. And it's a sacrifice. It's definitely a sacrifice, because this is something that's really good for me, that would make me happy. And I can afford it. And yet, I think most people in my position would, given all the reasoning and all. But it's just difficult. And like I said, if my hours weren't cut, I'd be in great shape. You know. Excellent shape even. Excellent shape even. I'm just saying that because it sounds kind of funny. Excellent shape. Yeah, it's a shame. I'm so close to being perfectly where I want to be, and I can physically do it. I can mentally do it. Just my job. I guess this is going to be random, but I want to mention it so it's documented. I had this dream that one of my tires was kind of like really destroyed and like peeling. And I'm thinking about it now that I'm driving, and I can't see the tire while I'm driving. So I'm not sure how that was happening in the dream or how I knew that, but in the dream I could actually see my tire while I was driving to see how it looks visually. It's not a horrible idea. In the future, you could have cameras aimed at the tires, and you could see, as well as other people, how it's looking. Other people, as I mean your digital servants, the AI built into the car, monitoring and tracking every metric. Sorry, I got lost in thought again. It happens. It happens. Today is Wednesday. I suppose that's nice. And again, I would have more to talk, because I could cut these episodes in half. I could only do just the morning or just the night. I actually don't know which one I would do. I could just do one of these car rides with Schlaws, and I would obviously have a lot more to say, and I would still probably be doing more content than most people, so, but it wouldn't be as impressive as what I'm doing now. Yeah, I don't know. As much as it's upsetting that I can't get the hours that I want, I guess it's probably a healthier thing, although the traffic is really the main. Like, I really, a part of me, yeah, only being able to do the lower hours is nice, but it's the traffic that bothers me, and like I've said a million times, it has nothing to do with the patients. It has to do with the fact that it costs me a lot of money, and I don't think the six-figure stooges who made that decision are care about that or even aware of it. And that's very frustrating. It's extremely frustrating. My frustration levels are severe. I wouldn't be surprised if 45 is kind of the best speed, but you can't really get away with that. Oh, right, there's like no car where you could see the tires while the car's moving, so I don't know how that happened in the dream, but I didn't even question it in the dream. It's just an interesting thing to take note of. It is. Super interesting thing to take note of. And what happened is there happened to be a tire shop or like a car place right near my work, and I just figured, because obviously this isn't in reality, so where I worked, I'm not even sure, this could be a connection to other dreams. No, it was school. I was going to school again. Why? Like, I honestly think it is kind of strange at this point, the amount of dreams that I still have going to school, when it's been a really long time since I've even been in school, and I don't even think about school that much consciously. It's super strange. I do think it's important to let go. Sorry, I just thought a lot in my head, but my life, I've always pushed it and really wanted to be more materially successful, but that was never really the unique or defining trait of my life. I think the unique or defining trait of my life is that despite my stress, everything's just been relatively smooth and good. Besides relationships, they've always been rocky and just weird. But besides that, everything has been stable, even though it's felt maybe like it hasn't. And I remember when I did go to school, I just feel like I got away with a lot, and I've always been gifted so much time to myself. And I'm saying gifted, but that's not accurate to how I feel. I don't like it. I'm not appreciative of the fact that I have the alone time that I have. It's just not something that is appealing to me. I'm not even sure how good it is for me, but I know that that's kind of the path I've been on, as somebody who I guess is more monastic in lifestyle, and that's really the life that I've been given. It's the life I've been given. It wasn't the life I chose, but it's what is the unique about my situation. Even with my job, it's the same kind of story. You know, I just have a lot of time to chill, I guess. It's a very good thing I got going on. It's just, like I said, the pay, it's kind of slagger. It's kind of slagging. It's sluggish. The pay is a tad sluggish. It's slaggard. It's lagging behind. Sorry, I'm just glitching out right now. No, I'm just fooling around. Don't think I'm losing it. I forgot to mention, we genuinely could make record-breaking time this morning. I was on it, which tends to happen because of the adrenaline of waking up late. Kind of pushes me to new heights. Sorry, lost in thought again. I don't even remember what I was talking about. I was just glitching out. I was just glitching out. I don't know. Just trying to ride this easy. Easy does it. Easy does it. We're making good mile per gallon. Whoa, 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 whoa. Sorry, nothing's happening. I'm just talking like that because I was gonna slip out of sixth gear, and I was kind of not happy, so I wanted to try to keep it in, and I had to adjust my pressure on the throttle in order to get there. So I started freaking out. Now, if I get good light luck, this is going to be an impeccable mile per gallon finish. It's going to be impeccable. But only if. And that's the thing, is in a perfect world, they would do that. They would have probably trackers in all the cars, so the light timing would be calculated to be as perfect as possible. Because now it's random or it's camera, and either way, those can have errors. So yeah, and I just think we just messed up because I just saw the light change. It just changed to red. So presumably, no, it's back. Yep, this light is really annoying. Wow. Yeah, I know, I forgot it because it's because of the cameras where I think it changes to let the other people go, and then it just changes right back because it's probably a camera light. I'm not sure what other explanation there would be for that. But yeah, we're making good mile per gallon. I mean, nothing record breaking, but still good nonetheless. Getting stopped here, though. It's actually good, though, because we're almost like too early. if that sounds possible, we're definitely breaking a record for the earliest I've ever gotten to work, but that's okay. I'm just We're absolutely breaking records. I like it, though. I like it. Actually, now I'm not sure. It might be a record, but I don't think we're going to make the time I thought I was going to make, so I don't think we will. But it's still possibly a record. It's possible. Possibly a record, so. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I have to find other things to focus on. It's just the tech. It's such a core of who I am, and needing to have the latest and fastest. Just so important to me, you know? So it's a wound. I'm wounded. Because I really would just buy it. I'm not sure. Yo, well, hey, I mean, whoa, they're doing some crazy work here. Sorry, I'm just really thrown off now. I guess it's good I got here early. Because they're closing off like so many of the... I wonder when they even did this. I'm hoping to just kind of quickly get my clock in and then find somewhere to park. Seriously, this is ridiculous. We have to figure out where I want to park now, but it's gonna affect my departure this morning. Not this morning, but in general. Guess we'll go back to my alternative spot. But that's weird. I wonder when they even did that. But yeah, I'll just take the alternate. The only thing I don't like about the alternate is there's fluid underneath the alternate. So actually, yeah, see, now I'm just overthinking and being crazy. Because I probably should park not like that. Yeah, so now we're just gonna waste a bunch of power steering, fluid, and effort to try to figure out where to park. Yeah, because I could do this other way, and yeah, lots of power steering fluid, gas, effort wasted. Because I just don't like that. I guess it just kind of bothers me to be parked over top of water. And even this spot, it's not perfect, but it is what it is, you know? That's like... Yeah, I guess that's fun. Alright, what an adventure. What an adventure. And lost about half a mile per gallon, it seems. But yeah, this is the alternative spot. I guess just because... Here, yeah, let me shut the car off. I guess just to be curious. Yeah, the reception here actually works. It works a little bit better, so I could and potentially should just change this to my usual parking space. I don't know how that's possible, but yeah, the signal here is actually stronger. Oh, the reason why I wouldn't do that is because it's still, the other spot is still like the fastest to get to. I guess that's the advantage of my usual spot. I think that's my reasoning. I don't know. I just was forgetting that was a factor, but it is. Well, it's very, very blessed and miraculous timing. I thank God, I thank the universe for just happening to let me get here extra early today, so it gave me time to handle all that. And I do think it was record worthy, but again, I'm not entirely sure. But interesting. And I may genuinely switch to this parking space. We will have to see how that goes. Still have some things I kind of want to tend to, but yeah, the video will end soon. But this is probably a rarer, longer morning because of that. All right. It's been Schlaw, but now it's time to buy Schlaw. So, see you, Schlaw.